Good morning, all. I'm going to have to go turn on the light in a moment, but you'll find linked at the beginning of the description a video by me on the left talking about Eric Allen, who is just a moment while I check my facts. So as you can see, I've got the light on. I will do a tap tap at some point. I literally just finished a cigarette before I hit record. So the individual in question is Representative Eric Allen, who compared January 6th to 9/11 and got his ass kicked by the ratio on Twitter. Now, obviously, I don't recommend going and giving this person a hard time. It should go without saying that I don't. Yeah, don't give him a hard time. If you're in his district, if you're one of his constituents, or if you feel the need to make some sort of statement about what he has said, the video does provide contact details. However, and I will stress this very strongly, do not express yourself in such a way as to be insulting or vitriolic. The best choice, state why you are criticizing him, what he has done, and why you think it's wrong, and get out. Dealing with a politician is a lot like dealing with a little child. You can't be too harsh because they'll cry. Now, all that said was preamble for this point. And I do actually need to lower that angle because I don't like trying to look up that much. There we go. Now I have the camera at eye level. So the final outcome of his ratioing was that he blocked and limited access to his account to those who he follows or mentions, if I recall correctly. You're a sitting politician, Eric. Don't do that. You're basically saying that the only people that matter to you are people who you trust to give you a good response. That's bad form. You're ignoring a significant portion of your constituent base, and that's going to cost you. And clearly it already has. Yeah, just a moment now. And I'm attempting to speak a little more clearly. I'll turn the camera just a touch so the microphone's a little more towards my face. If the sound is still really bad, let me know. I'm doing my best with subpar equipment. So, I dropped this tablet a couple of days ago, or a few days ago, and damaged it. I actually dropped it directly onto my mic stand, one of the legs of the tripod, and there's a significant dent in the leg, just as there's a significant dent in the tablet. So, bear with me. I'm going to be a while before I can afford to replace the tablet, so let's see. Yeah, so a politician who refuses to interact with his constituents in an open fashion, especially on what is supposed to be the public square of the internet, Twitter, which clearly it isn't. But a politician who does that is basically saying that they're going to ignore the will of the people because they're not willing to listen to all of the people. And if you're not willing to listen to all of the people you represent, whether they voted for you or not, then you don't belong in politics. That's my opinion. Politics is supposed to be the art of compromise, and if you can't compromise enough to accept criticism, you don't belong in the game. Being on YouTube, yeah, I could turn comments off and just talk at the camera. I think all of you guys know that that very much would not be my style. I need to move this camera back over. It's giving me fits. But, and I really do need a shave. Ginger is really starting to come out. Actually, I will throw in a little aside here. I'm thinking I might shave my head one more time, and my face one more time, before the 21st, and then let it grow until spring. Let me know what you think. For the record, it'll look like crap in 6 months, but let me know what you think. Yeah, if you're going to be a representative, and the key is kind of in the word there, if you're going to be a representative for people, then that means that your job is to hear the concerns of the people and act in accord with it. Yes, I understand that you got elected by sharing your personal views. However, and this is far truer in the States than it is in Canada, because in Canada you can be elected without more than half the people wanting you there. Trudeau, for example, got 33%, give or take, a third of the vote. That means the majority of Canadians didn't want him. Yeah. That boggles my mind. And then he has the nerve to, I'm getting off topic, I realize, but then he has the nerve to talk about how he was given a mandate. No, you really weren't. You were given a mandate to basically run the country as a steward until someone we actually want gets elected. But that's not how Canadian politics works anyway. If it was, independents could run. And that's my personal beef laid open and left aside. But back to Mr. Allen specifically. And I'm sure he'll never see this video. But on the off chance he does, Eric, Mr. Allen, representative, congressman, whatever the term is for you, I'm not American. I feel no need to be particularly respectful of your title. But if you're going to run for elected office and you claim, and by rights just making the run for the office puts you in the position where you're making the claim. But if you claim that you want to represent your people, your constituents, your community, what have you, and then you purposefully block a significant portion of that community from contacting you, yes, they do still have the ability to email you. You don't see that personally. And there's no guarantee that he was actually seeing Twitter himself either. Just a moment. Sorry, had an eyelash. But if you're going to block a significant portion of your constituency from contacting you, yes, and again, as I was saying, I do realize they still have access to your email account. But you're on Twitter because you want fast responses, aren't you? Or are you on Twitter because you want to be able to go, look at me? Yeah, if you're on Twitter because you want to be famous, get off Twitter. You're a politician. Your job is not to be famous. Your job is to be representative. something that has kind of come to the forefront of my mind the last little while. Is the idea that politicians are meant to be the servants of the people. And it's even in the broad category, civil servant. And it is extremely ironic that someone like Queen Elizabeth II was more of a public servant as a monarch, which is not really in a lot of people's attitudes these days. They're not really considered a public servant. This is considered, a monarch is often considered to be someone who is above or apart from the people. But if you look at the behavior of Elizabeth, over the course of her reign, and even her life before that, if you look at her attitude and behavior, and one can see one's ethos displayed through one's behavior. Oh, it went very green that time. That's interesting. Let's try that again. Playing with the chroma. So much fun. But you can see the break from the idea of being a civil servant to being, and I don't mean this particularly harshly or as a criticism of you personally, Eric. This is very much an observation of trends. As some of us in the white well-being community point out, we're noticers, and this is something I've noticed. Excuse me. The idea of being a civil servant as an elected politician is gone. It has fallen by the wayside. And what we have in a lot of politicians these days, now, I will grant there are very good politicians, those who actually run for public office in order to be servants of the public. I think they're very few and far between. And I won't name any specific names, but what we have at this point is not so much an elected class of representatives as it is a class of celebrities, people who keep winning popularity contests. And because they have won these popularity contests, it seems that they think that they're being given carte blanche to act as they personally see fit. That's not your role as a public servant. Your role as a public servant is to literally serve the public. You are meant to hear their voices, understand their concerns. If you can't understand the concerns of your constituents, you need to get out of office. If you are so disconnected from people that the concerns of the lowest of your constituents are meaningless or foreign or exotic to you, you don't belong in that job. It used to be that a politician was someone who was raised up from the general community. That was quite a long time ago now, probably over a century. But you would have someone like me, for example, a woodworker who would run for office because they saw a role that needed filling that was not being properly uh, attended to. And that person would spend their time in office and retire or lose or step down, whatever, because they had done what they intended to do. Now what we have is a class of people who essentially, as I said, win a popularity contest through whatever means, whether it be financial influence, political influence, or whatever. Excuse me, I had to sneeze. Anyway, they win these contests through whatever means, and it is almost as if, rather than pay attention to the will of the people, they are now far more concerned with advancing the agenda of their party. The agenda of your party should be to promote the highest possible well-being amongst your constituents. You are not an elected official to get what you want done. You are elected to get what the people need done. I have to actually pause again just for a moment because I had to check a term. So I knew this was correct, but I wanted to make sure I had it absolutely correct. The etymology of the word samurai is related to the classical verb saburafu, to serve, which is ultimately derived from sa, the prefix, which means early, and morafu, to keep watch. In other words, the samurai were a guardian class, an actual servant of the people, much akin to a city watch or a guardian class. That's where the etymology comes from. And as with the samurai, the political class, which was meant to safeguard the people, is now or evolved into a sort of nobility. That's kind of the position that a lot of modern politicians find themselves in. They've gone from being guardians of the people, stewards of the people's well-being, excuse me, to essentially a nobility class. And with the empirical example of Queen Elizabeth, I'm very much coming around to the idea of a monarchy as a better choice. We've already got a nobility class, we might as well put one guy in charge whose head is on the block. So yeah, in that case, I do agree with Spoon. Monarchy might be a better way to go. As it is right now, the system, which worked well enough in the beginning, is descending into chaos. It's become unfit for purpose, and there's something, and perhaps it's, again, it may be my throwback caveman attitude, but there's something romantic and extremely attractive to me about the idea of a nobility class, a watchman role to be had. If you offered me a choice between serving as a member of a king's household in whatever role, or being a servant to a politician, a democratic politician, one of them sounds a lot dirtier than the other, don't they? And given that the political classes in the democratic West are decaying into oligarchy or false nobility, or certainly aristocracy, um, maybe might not be a bad choice. And the thing with a nobility class or an aristocracy class is that they're going to be so busy running the country, they can't take the time to run your life. They won't be concerned with whether or not you own 3 cats or 4. It will give people back a degree of freedom, I think. Anyway, I'm starting to ramble from the topic and I'm over 20 minutes. But to go back to my original point about Mr. Eric Allen. And I'll end this in a bit of a harsh manner because I think it's deserved. Eric, you're supposed to be a representative. You need to represent, not ignore parts of your constituency. And that should be a heads up for every politician out there who's using Twitter. Blocking or filtering your Twitter, you're basically saying to some of your people, I don't give a fuck what you had to say. Which basically means you're not fit for purpose. So, bear that in mind. And to all the politicians using Twitter, get the fuck off of Twitter. Twitter is not the world. Twitter is not your constituency. You do not serve at the will of Twitter. You serve at the will of the people who vote for you. Bear that in mind. And go and do your job. In any case, folks, yeah, got a little intense there for a second, didn't I? Anyway, it's a topic I get passionate about. So I hope you're having a good day. I hope you continue to have good days and rise again until lambs become lions. Oh, like, share, subscribe, comment, donate if you feel like it. If you've tried to donate and something has gone wrong, by all means, please let me know, either in the comments, by email, whatever. Check my Getter for projects that I've completed. Check. There will be a set of keychains going up for sale there shortly. I'll try and get that done this morning. I haven't figured out exactly the pricing on that, but it'll certainly be cheaper than that candle holder. And when it comes to shipping, there is no flat rate. It will be real shipping. So we will agree on a price, and then I'll go and find out what shipping will be. Which will add to your price. So negotiate with that in mind. If you don't want to negotiate, contact me, ask what I'm asking. Make sure you say very clearly, I do not wish to negotiate. I'll give you what I feel is a fair price. Other than that, today is Wednesday, nothing else going on. The garbage truck hasn't come by yet, and it is 8:30. That garbage truck is late. Yeah, so at some point today I'll do another short little stream, doing a little bit of woodwork, finishing off parts of that project. The weather is getting very nice, so I should be able to go outside and do some sanding. Yeah, so I should finish those bookends up today. That'll be the ones with the wooden horns on them. Other than all that, I think I've covered it. Yeah, if you're not on my Getter, you can check the description box below. Send me an inquiry about whatever item you're interested in, candle holder, keychains. Wait until at least, what's today, Wednesday? Wait until at least Monday if you're interested potentially in the bookends. And yeah, email me. I'll email you back a picture. that's pretty much the system I've got going right at the moment. It is what it is. In any case, folks, as I said 5 minutes ago, I hope you have a good day. Bye-bye.